Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. Now, here's a good one for all you medical experts out there that look it up on the internet and just say what it says on the screen. Last night I dozed off on the chair. That's not uncommon, but it is uncommon to wake up after midnight, and as I stood up out of the chair I fell. Now I fell on the carpet and I didn't hit anything, and I couldn't stand up. My balance was totally shot to pieces. I fell against the fridge freezer. That stopped me going any further. I had to hang on to stuff to get where I needed to go, which was the toilet, and I was violently sick. And then we played the game at both ends at the same time, which is not funny. And I eventually thought, well, I'm going to go to bed and try and sleep this off because I don't know what this is. My balance was completely shot to pieces. I got up this morning and it's not gone away. It's not bad, but I'm finding myself hanging on to things rather than just, I can stand, I'm okay, but I feel a little, I suppose the expression is lightheaded. I'm not right, and I don't really know what's wrong. I had one cup of coffee when I got up, and that didn't seem as though it was going to stay there. It did, and I just didn't feel comfortable. I thought, well, I'm going to just sit in my chair today and not do anything. And I went to sleep again. And I was thinking, I've already had more than enough sleep. I shouldn't be sleeping again. So we had another doze. And I got up and I thought, well, after what happened the night before, I'm probably under-resourced. So I thought, well, I'd better have some breakfast and see if it will stay there, because I still felt all wrong. So I had my normal toast and marmalade. That was an hour or so ago. And I've now made what is my second cup of coffee, and it's midday. So something is not right. Now, my toe thing, I don't mind that sort of thing. I can see that, I can touch it. I try not to because it hurts. Although that is infinitely better. Having managed to cut the toenail back, it's not sticking up anymore. So, I've got my sandals on again now. I can walk okay. But what this is, I don't know. And like with many things, I'm just going to try and carry on and do what I was normally going to do today, which I should have done yesterday and didn't get going, but I need to water all my pots and my mounts as I go past them. I don't count that as a separate thing anymore, the mounts, because there's so few of them now that they just get done as I walk past, basically. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to see how far I get, because this feeling of unsteadiness, out of balance, is worse if I move quickly, and it's worse if I sort of swing round. Now, I water there and all the pots are over there, which means for every pot I've got to do a double turn. So I don't know how far I'm going to get, but I'm going to make a start. It's only a flush run, so all I've got to do is put water in the bowl and water some plants. Now, I don't know how far I'm going to get. It's late in the day to be watering, but we shall see. But I just don't feel right. It's an incredibly strange feeling. It's as though, I can't explain it. It's as though there's sort of some liquid on my eyes, so that as I turn, my sight is not quite in line with what I'm looking at. It like follows on behind. It's difficult to express. I haven't fallen over today, so that's good. But if I tilt like this, I feel like I'm going to go. It's just not balanced. Whoops, dead leaf. You come off. I always take dead leaves off when I see them, on the grounds that if they stay there, they'll only go mouldy and they could affect another part of the plant. So we just take them off. So all I can do really is plod away at this. See how far I get. I don't think there's any point in resting in between, like do some and rest. I'm not tired, but there's something, I don't know what upsets somebody's balance. Now your balance is normally an ear thing, isn't it? Although when I had that horrible bunged up ear that time, after dunking it in the bath, that didn't affect my balance, but my balance is definitely, I feel like I'm doing this all the time, and I was then. Oh, I don't bloody know. I don't like not knowing. And the first person who says go to the doctor needs to think their statement through. How would you suppose I get there? I've got a job to walk across the room safely without putting my hand on something. Oh, I'll get in the car and drive up the road then. We need to be sensible. I can't get anywhere at the moment. I'm having trouble getting across the flipping room here. And this is my little new plant that's in moss. I wonder if it would lift out. You know what I'm like. Oh, it's okay. I don't see loads of roots, but the media's okay is what I mean. I'll give it some water. I don't know when it last had any. But the fact that it's in mostly moss, we won't give it too much. I can feel by the weight that that's already taken on board quite a bit. That's the little bulb of phyllum. Oh. And then this is one of the new paths. And I've noticed this a lot with Spiceotics plants now. They all come with a film on the leaves. So they obviously have a spraying regime of some sort. Now that could be a foliar feed, but it's more likely to be a pesticide or something like that. And it leaves a film. It wipes off very easily. So I don't know what's in the, what sort of root system we've got here. And the only way I'm going to find out is to take it out of the pot, but that's certainly not a today thing. I'm even worried about carrying these pots. If I overbalance, I'm going to end up throwing one on the floor. This is the other little new path. Again, it's not got a pot full of roots. Right, that's the three new plants are now done, and certainly those last two paths have put a load of dirt in the water, so we will dump that. It's only a little bit. I've got a place where I can throw relatively small amounts of water. It's one of the trays under the mounts that's got the moss and the fern in. It's good in a way that it's got a media that holds a fair bit of water, but it does dry out, which means it is using that water. It can't be evaporating, not that quick. I don't know how far I'm going to get. I'm already feeling quite wobbly. I just feel like I want to sit down where I'm safe. My dad always used to say, sit down where you can't fall down. I just feel incredibly wobbly. Right, I'm going to finish this shelf. There's only a few more to do. There's a fair few on this shelf come into the cooler, shadier set, which do get a separate run. They're due tomorrow, so the idea was to get everything else done today. I tend to split my pots into two lots, and one lot should have been done yesterday and didn't. So in theory today I would be doing all of my pots apart from the cooler, shadier ones, but I'm not sure that's going to happen now. Turn that camera off in a minute because I'm sure this is boring. I just wanted to let you know that I'm not right. I don't know what's wrong, and I still firmly believe that most things are helped by rest. Remains to be seen. Pardon me. That coffee's not going down very well. This one's seems to be coming back to life. One of those you buy that's called Cambria, but you know, the new growth areas are looking nice bright green now. There's roots coming out. So whereas this hasn't been happy in the past, very shriveled bulbs, but seems to be coming on now. There's lovely flowers on if I ever get it to bloom again, but there's no reason why one or two of those new growths shouldn't bloom. And this is that Alisara that just won't grow. It's grown new growths, and yet again they are smaller. As the new growths are getting smaller than smaller. I think that's got Fusarium. Well, let's put it this way, there's something very, very wrong with it. There's been something wrong with it now. This is, I think, we're into the third year of trying to recover this plant. and I think it's time to let it go, especially as many people have pointed out many times, I do share water. Fusarium, it is possible to pass Fusarium on via water sharing, but it's the least likely. Ooh. It's the least likely. Oh, I missed one. Little Nelly Isla. This is another one that just don't grow very well for me, but I do have a nice new growth on it, and it's still alive, which is more than some of the others I've had. So maybe I'm going to get a Nelly Isla to grow at long last. They're cooler growers. They've got quite a percentage of odontoglossum in them, so they do like to stay cool, which, you know, that would explain why it didn't do very well at the last place. It was just too warm for it. And I tried several, you know, but that's the latest one. Right, so having removed that big plant, these plants can go back a bit more spread out now, because this shelf was getting a bit clogged up, a bit close together. But, a couple of dendrobiums on this shelf that don't like the bright light, and then they're not necessarily growing that well. And I've just got this thing that if a dendrobium's not growing very well, the last thing it needs is bright light trying to force it to do something that it hasn't got the energy or the roots to do. Whether that works or not, I don't know. I'm going to have to go and sit down again. I was hoping that getting up and moving around might sort this out, but it's getting worse. It feels so light-headed, everything's like floaty. But, like I said, I haven't a clue what it is. I don't know. I don't remember ever having it before. Or anything like it before. If I'm only doing my ordinary pots, then that's that shelf done. Because everything on the lower parts of that shelf are the Odonts, Restrepias, Masdevallias, so, you know, they don't come into this run, they come into tomorrow's run, which might have to include some of today, because I haven't finished, and that might just have to be how it is. If I don't feel steady on my feet, I'm not comfortable. I don't want to end up dropping plants. Right, that bulbophyllum is a warm to hot grower. That's not going to do very well here through the winter. Now, in theory, some plants will put up with colder temperatures by stopping growing. They just stop all activity. They don't die. Some do. Some die. They can't take the cold. And that might be one of them. So I might try and de-risk that, and I'm reasonably sure Lynn keeps a warm section, you know, where she doesn't let the winter temperatures drop down to so much as I do, perhaps. So I might actually hand that one on, we shall see. Anyway, I'm going to have another sit down for a bit and get off my feet, and then I'll come back and have another go. And I think I'll try and do that and see how far I can get. My cooler shady set is an awful lot bigger than it used to be, because that's the set that's grown in numbers as time goes on. There's a lot more Masdevallias now, there's quite a few more odont types, and some have been separated out from what I call normal pots into that set because they are odont types, so I've moved them across, mainly since they got potted up in the small bark perlite and ripped up sphagnum moss mix. But yeah, I can't seem to be getting all this done today. I'm being this unsteady on my feet. It's just not, something's just not right. And I don't know what. I haven't got anything I can take for it because I don't know what I've got. I don't know. Perhaps I've just got some sort of bug. I mean, I was very sick last night. And my stomach's not quite right today, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to rest and see what I can do. I mean, I can work at the computer because that's sat down. It seems that if I sit down and keep still, it's not dizziness. It's more like giddy than dizzy. There's a subtle difference. It's just that as I move, I just feel like I'm swaying. And I'm, and instead of everything being in a nice firm straight line, I'm wandering and meandering. And that's what it feels like anyway. So anyway, I'm off. I will see you again. We'll have an update and see what's going on. It's something not quite right, and no idea what it is. That's the problem. Ugh. And I can't get anywhere. You can't get a flipping appointment to see anybody nowadays anyway. I drive myself to A&E straight in through the doors. Crash. Brakes don't work. No, I'm not doing anything silly, but I'm just going to do a little bit now and again and then have another sit down and see what happens. See you next time.